Shabbat Shalom,
Shabbat Shalom.
which is peace on Yahweh's holy Sabbath day. Welcome to another holy convocation that Yahweh has enjoined unto us here in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Forgive us, y'all. We are moving just a little bit behind schedule. All right, whose phone is playing as I'm, talking? I'm hearing myself, behind myself. It ain't even like on time. It happens from time to time. But we're going to get into some things. Of course, we had our new moon, which is a new month, last night, and on a Friday night. Although it is a really good way to bring in the Sabbath, it's just a little bit hectic on the ones who are working, though. So I had to leave y'all here. I let Kish shut it down, and because hey, we had to go and then still go and work. But praise Yahweh, He gives me that leeway beforehand so that I can come and do a little work and prepare for those sleepless nights. But they are absolutely wonderful spiritual offerings up to Yahweh, our Elohim, to have a sleepless night. Not sleepless because you was watching TV all night. Not sleepless because you was just doing something, that you thought was fun, but doing something for the glorification of Yahweh. It is a wonderful offering. When you start talking about spiritual offerings, that is one that you offer your chief time to deal with things that concern the kingdom, as it is written. Take care of you the things concerning the kingdom, and the other things will be added to you. We will spend our chief time trying to take care of our own business, and then we look up 2-3 years later, we still got the same problems with the same people in the same house. You start taking care of Yahweh business, you look, and some of those things start to take care of themselves. And that's what we hadn't figured out. It takes a whole level of faith, though, to be able to do that. But before we get started, brother, would you read the oracles and entreat the angel that stands at the door to come in and sup with us and us with him, that we may make this a holy convocation by the angel's presence.
1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober, and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man has received the gift, even so minister the same one to another, as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua the Mashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you are sealed until the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as dear children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for an offering, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becomes saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather given of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear, than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim, for Elohim is in heaven, and you upon earth, therefore let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you to keep you in the way and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
All right. We're going to begin today's sermon in Matthew chapter 2. Matthew chapter 2. And we're going to read verses 1 through 12. Now, I had a conversation with a elder Christian pastor with a doctorate. And you listen to all of these things and all of these accolades. A lot of times we are blocked, not because we don't have understanding. It's because we have already put some blockades in our heart and our minds, and we will not allow the understanding of this book to pass over certain levels. So we have these walls that are there. And some of those walls may have been there when we were originally given any kind of understanding, and they just stayed there. This elder with his PhD declared very profusely that there were no beasts in heaven. The issue is sometimes we don't like the way something sounds. And how we feel about how something sounds has nothing to do with what righteousness is. And the faster we figure that out, the better off we're going to be. Now, how you get a PhD in divinity and you never crossed the point where there was a beast, there were multiple beasts in heaven. But see, the word beast don't sound good to some people. See, when somebody say beast, it's always in a negative connotation. So there's no way a beast could be in heaven. It's not possible. And it was amazing. And this is the very thing that I was talking about last night. Sometimes your conversation is not for the person that you are actually engaged in conversation with. It is for the people who stand by and hear. All of these people that were in this barbershop, they basically would have bowed down to his understanding because of his accolades of what he has accomplished, what letters he has behind his name. They didn't know any better, so they would have listened to him. So when you have to stand in place and question those things, it's not necessarily about dealing with the individual that you're talking to. It was all the people who stood by and listened. And then now they have a different view of this same thing, because all they were doing was listening to this man. And they see, same people come in and out of the barbershop. They think that, hey, this person is a person of authority. And everything that they were saying was incorrect. But without anybody to challenge that, this is one thing that we will do. I don't condone challenging people's authority, but challenging the things in the word, we about that. If you have, you say, hey, Sock, I don't understand, this scripture. Oh, now we can get in. Oh, Sock, I got a different understanding from that scripture. Oh, now this is something we can discuss. Because that's something that we're supposed to do, reason with one another within the word. That is how we grow. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that, which is why we're going to go into some of these things and this pamphlet thing that we talked about last night. It has already grown into what we're going to do, but we'll have that discussion later. Matthew chapter 2, and let's start that at verse 1.
Now when Yeshua was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, Where is he that is born king of the Yehudis? For we have seen his star in the east, and are come to worship him. When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him.
Right, because what they're doing is, now this is going to upset our authority. See, we might be sitting here because we have some form of understanding that Yahweh has given us in the word. We understand that when there is judgment to America, it is going to eventually bring about the redemption of the children of Israel. But you have to think about the people who are in the establishment. The very thing that you may be looking forward to, because you know that it is going to bring the eventual resetting up of the children of Israel. There's other people who look just like you, and they want the complete opposite, because they have established things in this kingdom. They have worked themselves up to a very comfortable spot. So they don't want to have anything upset their power. That's the place where the priests stood. They had been cozy with the rulership. They had to do enough to keep the people pacified. But they received power, pomp, and circumstance from the Romans. So they didn't want any upsetting of that thing, because it messes up their status at this point. So these are the things that you have to kind of know as you're reading this, that you have groups of our people that are completely against each other. One is for the establishment, the other is for righteousness. And you're going to have the same thing here. You're going to have those who were set up by the establishment. So anything that you say going against that, they're going to have a problem with you. Go ahead.
Verse 4. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where the Mashiach should be born.
Now, this is using the people who actually study the word. He brings these people together and demand them, tell me what your book say. Go into your prophets, because understand where they're going to get this from. They're not going to get this from the New Testament. They're going to have to get this from the Old Testament. So then he demands from those who are a part of this word, go and tell me all the stuff I need to know about this king of the Jews. Because, you know, if I want to kill him, I need to know as much as I can about him. Y'all need to tell me about him. Because he going to mess up our place. He going to mess up our power if he come in here talking this going against, you know, these Gentiles. It's going to be a problem. Go ahead.
And they said unto him, in Bethlehem of Yehuda, for thus it is written by the prophet. And though Bethlehem in the land of Judea art not the least among the princes of Judea, for out of you shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel. Then Herod, when he had privily called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared.
Right. So first, tell me where this thing is in the prophecy. Show me what it is they're talking about. Now, give me the location of where these things are going to take place. All the while using our people for everything that they can use them for. Go ahead.
And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, Go and search diligently for the young child. And when you have found him, bring me word again, that I may come and worship him also.
Right. When you're dealing with this, deception, this is customary, especially among governments, that they hide from the left hand what the right hand does. When they send those people overseas and they have Greenpeace and all of that, they're agents stuck in there. Now, there's regular people who are really trying to feed homeless people overseas. Then there are agents stuck in the middle. And they have completely made those people believe that their quest is real. So in their heart, they believe it. But the agents know the difference. And they have movies that are based on true events. And it shows you that exact thing. Where one of the guys is saying, yeah, man, they think you know, that we agents over here, so they don't trust us. And he was talking to a real agent. He said, yeah, they're right. He said, what? They've been working with this guy all the time. He's like, yeah, man, I'm going to help you get out of here. He said, you're not going to leave? He said, no, this is what I do. I come over here and I destabilize their government. But I'm going to help you get out because I like you. All kind of murders. He think this is a regular guy. He didn't kill many people. Know all kind of ways to help them get out of this country before this civil war start. Because the civil war is what they need to make sure that region is destabilized. Then they can rule over it and steal its resources. But they went in thinking one thing. Same thing here. Go in that I can worship the child. Whole time you want to kill him. Go ahead.
Verse 9. When they had heard the king, they departed. And lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was.
Now, I know we have some people in here that study astronomy. Y'all ever seen a star like go around a house, go up a hill, down a hill, and then just like stop at a house? Y'all seen one of those stars? I know some of y'all got, you know, telescopes. Y'all like to look at the stars. Y'all ever seen a star do that? Right. This ain't no star. This is an angel sent to direct them to where the child is. Go ahead.
When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. When they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Miriam his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh.
Now the people want to tell you that this is a part of their Christmas right here. But when you understand about what happens when you go see a king, you don't go empty-handed. Pay attention to when these presidents go to countries. All they show us are the major details. Do a little research on when they first met. Watch how they exchange some kind of gift from one country to the next. This is the part that they don't put on the news. They'll tell you that this leader went and met this leader. Then you look and you find that one of them gave one this little thing. Come to figure out that means something in their country. Then the other one exchanges and give him something that means something in their country. So they are going to meet a king. You don't go and meet the king empty-handed. This is not a Christmas gift. Go ahead.
I mean, even in some African countries, that's customary when you go into someone's house to meet someone for the first time, that you present them with a gift.
Mm-hmm.
So in that region,
right,
that was customary.
Right.
Verse 12. And being warned of Elohim in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed into their own country another way.
Right. Once again, last night we went over some things. Yahweh said in Numbers 12, if there is a prophet among you, I will give him instruction in dreams or in visions. Here it is. These people were sent on a mission. They were told a lie as to the real purpose of their mission. But Yahweh didn't let them fall. He let them go on the mission. Go to the king who will be. Go and offer him the gifts. But I'm going to talk to you on your way back, though. They are going to do everything they can to deceive you. But I ain't going to let them. Now, you're going to be deceived in the first part, because I need for you to still have a straight face when I send you. Because, see, some of y'all can't hold a straight face when y'all know that the person in front of you lying. Because, see, sometimes it's like inside you sometimes when you know the person in front of you lying. See, you got to fight that. You can't do that. See? You got to have a complete straight face. They lying you. Really? I call it my Clifford. That's him. Clifford here can have the straightest face in the midst of some crap. I mean, zero emotion, no nothing. I mean, straight at that wall over there. And then sometimes I have to say, find your inner Kish. Because I'm an emotional dude, you know what I'm saying? So I have to fight that down. I know I'm in front of some mess, Boom. I had to calm down. Keep the straight face. Because they showed something on their way out. He said, wait a minute. Y'all ain't going to do right. Y'all ain't going to tell me what a child is. He's in the middle of him trying to deceive them. He has to be deceived himself. And the straight face is what helps him be deceived. Otherwise, he wouldn't have sent them. No, I'm going to get somebody else. Because I don't think y'all going to tell me what a child is. He got to believe himself that while he's deceiving them, that they are going to tell him exactly what that child is. Go ahead, bro.
That was it. Bro.
That was it. Let's go to Revelation chapter 22. This is also why you'll get into some situations and Yahweh will blind you from something. That, in the beginning of my walk, was extremely confusing. Like, Yahweh, why would you, like, give me some understanding to get to this point, and then you will blind or keep some information from me? I realized later. So you can have a straight face when they telling you. Because if I tell you first, you're going to do that thing. You know what I'm saying? And we tight-lipped, and they already know. Now they're not going to do that thing. No. I want them to do it. I want them to go ahead with their deception. So I'm going to blind you from their deception until it's time for it to come full circle. Yahweh know what he's doing. Revelation chapter 22, and let's read verses 1 through 7.
And he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of Elohim and of the Lamb. In the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river, was there the tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits, and yielded her fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations.
Right. The nations, this earth is going to go through so many things before it is set back to the paradise that it was originally set to be. We have so many things that block us from really understanding the greatness of Yahweh's creation. I mean, this earth is beautiful. And you just look at some of the things that Yahweh has on this earth. We completely pay those things no attention because of other things. As it is written, he has made man upright, but man has made many inventions. When I was young, you saw more people looking up. We paid attention to the sky. Now because of phone, everybody look down. You look, there's stories where people have been walking on the street and fell in the manhole cover. Why? Because they were looking at the phone. They didn't see that big hole. Huge hole. Huge hole. Matter of fact, they bounced off the front part of it and hit the back. There's no way that they should have not seen that hole. But you know what had them? The phone. They were so into the phone. Other people sitting there like, I know they're not finna, they just walked in the hole. Good God. I mean, people are narrating as they walk in the hole like they're not finna go. Surely they see that hole. I know they got to see the hole. It's huge. No, didn't see the hole. Totally different thing. Yahweh has got to put some things in there so that we recognize how great his creation is. We have forgotten how great this thing is. And we are a part of that creation. Go ahead.
Verse 3, and there shall be no more curse, but the throne of Elohim and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him. And they shall see his face, and his name shall be in their foreheads. And there shall be no night there. And they need no candle, neither light of the sun, for the Adonai Elohim gives them light, and they shall reign forever and ever.
Right, and when you get to the beginning, and he said, let there be light, and there was light, this is why some people can't figure out, wait a minute, the sun wasn't made till a couple days later. So how was there light? He was the light. That's how it was light in the beginning. Go ahead.
And he said unto me, these sayings are faithful and true, and the Adonai Elohim of the holy prophets sent his angel to show unto his servants the things which must shortly be done. Behold, I come quickly. Blessed is he that keeps the sayings of the prophecy of this book. And I, Johanan, saw these things and heard them. And when I had heard and seen, I fell down to worship before the feet of the angel which showed me these things. Then saith he unto me, See you do it not, for I am your fellow servant, and of your brethren the prophets, and of them which keep the sayings of this book. Worship Elohim. And he saith unto me, Seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according as his work shall be.
According as his work shall be. So, those things that we have performed, that's the payment we're going to receive. It's only fair that you are paid for your service. If that is evil service, you shall receive an evil payment. If that was righteous service, you shall receive a righteous payment. It is only fair that you are paid for the work that you do. Go ahead.
I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. For without are dogs, and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loves and makes a lie.
Now, when it's talking about outside of this kingdom, for outside are dogs, or sorcerers, or whoremongers, or murderers, idolaters, and whosoever loves and makes a lie. In this instance, you find where it says dogs. This is dealing with a type of individual, not an actual dog. Because you notice the rest of these are not animals whatsoever. These are people who have done certain things. Sorcerers, whoremongers, murderers, idolaters, and whosoever loves and makes a lie. But that brings us to something. Read the definition for what they have here for dog.
G2965, Kuan, a primary word, a dog, hound.
All right, now let's go to Matthew chapter 15. See, everything that Elohim has created has its purpose. When we decide to use things outside of its purpose, this is where we get ourselves into some issues. Matthew chapter 15, and let's read verses 21 through 28.
Then Yahshua went thence and departed into the coast of Tyre and Zidon. And, behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast, and cried unto him, saying, Have mercy on me, O Adonai, you son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with a devil. But he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and besought him, saying, Send her away, for she cries after us.
Now, you see what the power of a pause does? It says, but he answered her not a word. In that pause, that gives the disciples the belief that he is not going to deal with the woman at all. But that's not his intention. But the pause has caused them to go ahead and show where they stand. That's one of the things my elder used to say. Pause for a second. For all them people who like to click up, pause and let them all click up so you can get rid of all of them at the same time. See, you get rid of them too early, you only get rid of one. The rest of the click's still there. So no. Pause for a minute. Let them all get together. That way you can take care of all that. Go ahead.
But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Then came she and worshipped him, saying, Adonai, help me.
Now, of course, we know that he is sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, but eventually he's going to open this up unto other nations. But she needs her salvation. She needs her help right now. I can't wait until you open this up to other nations and other people. I need my help right now. See, when you know you need something right now, you kind of go after it a little bit harder, a little bit more aggressive. Go ahead.
But he answered and said, It is not meet to take the children's bread and to cast it to dogs.
Now, he's not talking about a literal dog, but he's using this woman in the sense of a dog operates without law. A dog will eat its own vomit. A dog will do some strange things. This is a different kind of animal. It was created for a purpose, for its purpose. But when you come down to dealing with holy things, these people are outside of what was given. Go ahead.
And she said, Truth, Adonai, yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from their master's table.
Right. So now she goes on the next level, not arguing, I ain't a dog, or my people are such and such. No, she accepted that. I know I come from a people that we have not learned the law, statutes, and judgments that you are accustomed to. But even being a dog, shouldn't I at least get the crumbs that fall from the table? See, right now we have a different generation. You know, people got, you know, animals, and they animals eat, you know, all kind of fancy food. I look at it on TV. It's like, does your dog eat blue wilderness? You know, in the hood, you know what our dog ate? Whatever the hell we ate. You hear this? It says, don't they eat the food that fall from their master's table? That's what we fed the dog. When we got through eating, they said, you got the dog food? Yes, as soon as I get through eating. What's left over, that's the dog's food. That's what the dog ate. If this was a wild animal, do you think he knocked on the door? Pardon me, roof, roof, bow wow. Look at it. Pardon me, old chap, do you have any blue wilderness in there? See, there's some punk dogs. When they go back to wagging my bull, chap. The rest of the dog like, hey man, we finna go catch some food, bro. You coming? Oh no, I don't do that. Bow wow, brother, bow wow. Nah, man. There's some different kind of dogs, man. No. Go ahead, bro.
Then Yahshua answered and said unto her, O woman, great is your faith. Be it unto you even as you will. And her daughter was made whole from that very hour.
Her daughter was made whole from that very hour. If we, in Matthew 7, y'all don't have to go here. In Matthew 7 and verse 6, it says, give not that which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast you your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under feet and turn again and rend you. So then we understand that these dogs understand that our people were husbandmen, which are farmers. We're going to deal with these beasts. Understand the beasts were created before you. These beasts have their purpose. We use these beasts. We have to understand that. In Exodus 22 and verse 31, it says, and you shall be holy men unto me. Neither shall you eat any flesh that is torn of beasts in the field. You shall cast it to your dogs. So in the beginning, we knew the dogs was going to eat the stuff that we didn't eat. Somehow now it has turned into blue wilderness. Now these dogs don't even bark right no more. Used to be a situation where the dog eased himself and he kicked dirt over what proceeded out of him. That was in the dog. The dog now ease himself and look back and wait for you to pick it up. Because you got that little poop bag. And the dog like, Bow Wow, you going to pick that up? You be, yo, old chap. I've gone. I don't know if you saw that. Oh, I'm going to pick that up. Hey, you a dog. Kick dirt over it. But ain't no dirt in the living room. So he hadn't got accustomed. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? Ain't no dirt. You know what I'm saying? He can't kick your carpet up. No matter how many times he kick it, the carpet don't move. So now he has lost this thing where he's supposed to kick the dirt over what has proceeded out of him. But even here, wait, no. This is in the beginning. This is Exodus. You don't give that which is holy to the dogs, and you don't eat something torn of a beast. You give that to your dogs. Understand, Dawid was a shepherd. You use dogs to round up the sheep, but you use them for the purpose in which they were called for. And that's something that we have to consider. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 11. I'm just not one of them inside animal type dudes, you know. So I mean, people have, do what they do. I just know animals don't act right as soon as you turn your head. They do all kind of strange stuff. But they animals, okay? How you gonna get mad at it? Especially the people who keep animals that are not like domestic. Folks decide, I want to get me a pet orangutan. Okay, hold on. That's a wild animal. Okay, then there was that lady who that little pet orangutan or monkey or whatever she had. That thing beat her and it tore half her face off. Do you understand the power that a monkey had? That may look like a little monkey, but he got like wild strength. It's not like you ain't never seen no monkey just on the bench, working out, I'm trying to get, trying to get my pecs right, just in case, I'm swinging, I'm trying to get banana, I want to be swole. No, man, the strength that this monkey got is wild, crazy strength. And when that monkey went monkey, it was a power that nothing that this woman could deal with. There's nothing that anybody could do to keep this animal off of her once it went. When something scrubbed its knuckles on the ground when it walked, do you understand what that gonna feel like when it hit you? It gonna feel like the ground hit you. Okay? When people practicing martial arts, don't they hit their hand up against bricks and wood? What's that for? To harden their hands up, to make those bones harden up. So then you get hit by some little skinny dude and it feel like, okay, was there a brick in his hand when he hit me? Okay, I swear that was a brick. No, that was his hand. Are you certain that was his hand? I promise you that was his hand that hit you. That was not a brick, but it felt like one. Right. This monkey hands has scrubbed the ground his whole life. When he punch you, it's not going to be like any man you have ever felt punching you. This is an animal. It was designed for something, and that design is not to be in your living room. Isaiah chapter 11, and let's read verses 1 through 10.
And there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. And the Spirit of Yahweh shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge and of the fear of Yah, and shall make him of quick understanding in the fear of Yah. And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of his ears. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins. The wolf also shall dwell with the lamb.
Understand what they call the dog is a close relative of the wolf. Matter of fact, when you see them wolf dogs, when I seen one, it made me want to take off running because the thing looked like a wolf. But look at here, the wolf is not kicked out of the kingdom. That's one thing that we have to understand still in that. Like I said, I'm not one of those people who like inside animals. I don't tell other people, what they gonna do, because I know, my kids keep trying to talk me into an animal. I know what that's gonna end up being. It's gonna end up being me cleaning up after that animal. Now they're gonna clean up after that animal for the first 5 days as it's new. 2 days after that, it's going to be my job. Not going to have them cap them. Not going to do that. Go ahead.
And the leopard shall lie down with the kid,
Uh-huh.
and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them.
Right. The little child is going to play with all of these animals. A little child will lead a wolf. The wolf is going to be with the lamb, because now they're not trying to eat one another. They're eating grass and straw. Now there's peace among these beasts. And we have to understand now, these beasts were made. This is a part of Yahweh's creation. And we can't kick out a part of Yahweh's creation because of how we've learned some things. Go ahead.
And the cow and the bear shall feed. Their young ones shall lie down together.
Which is something that you just do not see. You don't see animals, different animals hanging out with one another. You know, bears hang out with bears. Cows hang out with cows. You don't see no cow and a bear, walking down the street. That just do not happen. Okay? So the stuff that you're even reading about without understanding, see, I watch them nature shows. I tell myself I ain't gonna watch it but 15 minutes. And then like 2 hours later, I'm still on that little nature show, because it's interesting how when you talk about the wolf, the way they hunt is absolutely awesome. It is crazy. That wolf pack is something not to play with. You over here, come to figure out that's a decoy. That ain't even who they trying to get over here. They went over here just so they can get your attention to go over here. Come to figure out your sheep missing on the right. Hey man, what happened? Oh, they just lured you over to this side. And then they'll corral everything. They all working as a team. They all communicating in whatever they little wolf language, because that team is working together to push everything the way that they want it to go. And to see that wolf sit down with a goat or a lamb, that is a miraculous thing in itself. That is a part of Yahweh's glory. Go ahead.
And the lion shall eat straw like the ox. And the sucking child shall play on the hole of the asp, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice's den.
Okay, these are things that we would say is absolutely wicked. Understand, this is a child playing with a snake. This is a viper and pythons. This is a kid playing with them. Now this is kingdom stuff now. So when I go to the park, and there's brothers always, saying walk around with the snake on their neck. Hey, bro, you're a little too early for that, bro. I'm sorry, man. You want to hold it? Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? But I know in the kingdom, it's not going to bother me. You see? So if you make it in, bring me your snake. You understand? But until that time, keep that the hell away from me. Okay? Go ahead.
They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of Yahweh, as the waters cover the sea. And in that day there shall be a root of Yessi, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious.
Right. So then we see that this is in that time. There's going to be peace among those animals or those beasts. But let's get into a bigger thing of beasts. Let's go to Revelation chapter 4. See, we have to consider something. Yahweh said, all right, we've created this man. Now let's bring all these beasts together to see what he will call them. We use the beast. You have to consider there are animals that are not clean to eat, but we still use them for our purposes. See, if this was in antiquity, most of y'all would have rode an unclean animal here. either a donkey or a horse. Neither one of those are clean animals. Matter of fact, don't they still measure your car by horsepower?
Mm-hmm.
How many horses you got in yours? I know you know. I know you know because you speed racing. You know what I'm saying? A speed racer know exactly. I mean, listen, it's like 116, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because I put it on the dyno, it's a little lower than what it's supposed to be. But I'm going to get that upgraded, Sock. I'm going to get that upgraded. I know. That brother know exactly how many horses he got in that car, you know? And it depends on which car he drive that day. He know about his horses. But see, they measure that by the power of how many. So this would be the power of these many horses. So we use those beasts for the purpose in which Yahweh has allowed those things to be used for. Go ahead. Because Yahweh uses some beasts as well. See, he gave you some beasts to use because he got beasts that he used. Revelation 4, and let's start that at verse 1.
After this I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven. And the first voice which I heard was as it were of a trumpet talking with me, which said, Come up hither, and I will show you things which must be hereafter. And immediately I was in the Spirit, and behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne. And he that sat was to look upon like a jasper and a sardine stone, and there was a rainbow round about the throne, in sight like unto an emerald.
And if we look at what a jasper and a sardine stone look like, we're going to find reddish brown. So when we start talking about what this entity looked like sitting on the throne, it begins to hurt people's feelings. Because they said, now y'all dealing with color. Now, hey, bro, I'm just reading the book. The book told me what color he was. Okay? And people say, well, you know, I don't see why y'all read any New Testament. That's a book of the white man. Well, this would be a perfect time for him to put a white man on the throne, but he didn't. I'm just saying, though. It should have been like the perfect time. If he wrote it, you know what I'm saying? This is the perfect time to put me in there. And there was a Bob on the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, that would have been the perfect time. When it says, and his feet look like burnt brass. That would have been the perfect time to say, and his feet look like baby powder. That would have been the perfect time. Just saying. Go ahead, bro.
Around about the throne were 24 seats, and upon the seats I saw 24 elders sitting, clothed in white raiment, and they had on their heads crowns of gold. And out of the throne proceeded lightnings and thunderings and voices. And there were 7 lamps of fire burning before the throne, which are the 7 spirits of Elohim.
Mm-hmm.
And before the throne there was a sea of glass like unto crystal. And in the midst of the throne, and round about the throne, were 4 beasts full of eyes before and behind.
So now we getting into beasts that you ain't just gonna run into. Now we dealing with some mystical beasts. Now these beasts ain't nothing you gonna run into. Okay? Now you got 4 beasts full of eyes in front and behind. That's when I start running. All right, that's beyond my pay grade at this point right here. But y'all got to think about something. We go and watch these movies, and this is how we get programmed that all of these things are evil. We go and watch The Lord of the Rings, which is one of the most popular things ever. And all they did was take your story, take the images of all of the things, put in their kingdom mortals, immortals. There are going to be some that's going to be resurrected before others who are actually living when the resurrection happens. All they did was take your story. They brought the mystical beasts, all of them put there. And now because we watch The Lord of the Rings, now all beasts have become evil. No, man, they have taken your story and made you think a different way about it. This is some holy stuff right here. Just ain't no holy stuff I want to run into. But it's holy nonetheless. Go ahead.
Verse 7. And the first beast was like a lion, and the second beast like a calf, And the third beast had a face as a man.
And that's probably the one I'm going to get the hell away from faster. Because it's a beast, but it's got the face of a man. I'm out. I am out, man. What the hell are you? Go ahead, bro.
And the fourth beast was like a flying eagle. And the four beasts had each of them 6 wings about him.
See, I wouldn't even be there long enough to find all this out. They said, "Sock, what the beast look like?" I don't know, Yahshua. I was running. So Yahshua, you know what I'm saying? Unless I had eyes in the back of my head, I was not going to see the beast. I saw him as I turned away. I can give you like a general description, but I'm probably going to suck at this. You might want to ask Kish. Because I didn't stay there long enough, Yahshua. But Sock, I brought this beast to you for you to write down. Okay, well call Kish and talk to him, and then I'll write it down. But I was gone. Soon as I saw the first set of wings and eyes, I was out. Go ahead, bro.
And they were full of eyes within. And they
Gone. Just know, stop gone at this point. Okay? I am out. At this point, it's Kish and the beast. Go ahead.
And they rest not day and night, saying, "Holy, holy, holy."
Oh, they talking? They talking? They got 6 wings, eyes, and they talk. I would have never heard them speak. I would have never heard them speak. I would have completely failed my Elohim right here. Matter of fact, I have to apologize in advance. If you give me this job, I'm probably going to suck at it. Please don't give me this job right here. Go ahead, bro.
Adonai Elohim Almighty, which was and is to come. And when those beasts give glory and honor and thanks to him that sat on the throne, who lived forever and ever, the 24 elders fell down before him that sat on the throne and worship him that lives forever and ever, and cast their crowns before the throne.
So
saying,
they are completely cool with these beasts. They have absolutely no fear whatsoever being in the realm of where they are. Go ahead.
saying, "You are worthy, O Adonai, to receive glory and honor and power, for you have created all things, and for your pleasure they are and were created."
For your pleasure they are and were created. So they were created for a purpose. So this is why we tell people when they decide that they're going to eat shrimp and crab legs, those things had a purpose in the ocean. When you then decide that you're going to eat it, now you have taken that thing outside of the purpose in which it was created. Now the ocean is getting dirty because the things that were created to clean it is in your stomach. And then you can't understand why you keep pooting.
Tell my pants gay and smell like shrimp.
You ate something that was supposed to stay in the ocean. And you can't figure out why you keep having stomach issues.
Couldn't be the scrimps.
We can't even say it.
Can't be the scrimp.
Right. Read, man.
That was the end
You
of that.
finish that? Where were we? Let's go to Leviticus chapter 11. Yeah, I remember my favorite restaurant used to be Red Lobster. Man, to get them little cheddar biscuits. I had to get the Admiral feast. You know what I'm saying? Give me all of it. I want all the abominations you got in there. Everything. I want the shrimp. I want the lobster. I want 3-4 kind of shrimp. I don't even want just one. Give me the scallops. I don't even know what the hell that is. Just put them on there. And they give you that little story where, oh yeah, this is the deveined shrimp. Took me a while to figure out there wasn't no vein. I was like, what that little brown thing going on there? Oh, it's deveined. I'd find out, oh no, that's D-doo-doo. Oh no, that do twice. That do and do. That's what that is. That's not no vein. See? But see, this is how they give you a better sounding story so it sounds better. Oh, it's deveined. No, it's de-dude. That's what that is. Look at this. Right. Leviticus 11, and let's start that at verse 1.
And Yahweh spake unto Moshe and to Aaron, saying unto them, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, These are the beasts which you shall eat among all beasts that are on the earth.
Right. So the beasts have their purpose. Yahweh has beasts. He gave you beasts. But use the beasts according to the purpose in which they were created. Go ahead.
Whatsoever parts the hoof, and is cloven-footed, and chews the cud among the beasts, that shall you eat.
Now the problem is you can't see what the foot look like in Kroger. Okay? This is the problem. See, before our people would see the animal live and look at the foot. Oh no, we can't eat that right there. What are you eating? Oh no, we can't eat that. So we didn't have to worry about what the name of it was. We looked at the attributes. You can look at what it does and we can figure out that we can't eat. But it don't look like that in the meat department. That stuff in the same bag as everything else. So all you looking at is what the name is. And if they change the name, we in trouble. Because this strange place has passed laws that you can get horse meat and still call it beef in some places. So you might be eating something like, this is delicious. And can't figure out, why I do that? Why did brother do that? Brother, wait. Kid, did I say something strange? Yes, brother, you just did. That was that horse you just ate last night. He coming back. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, these shall you not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the hoof. As the camel, because he chews the cud, but divides not the hoof.
So he has to have both of those attributes. Can't have one. Doesn't matter which one he has. If he does not have both, it is not an edible animal. That don't mean you can't use the animal. Okay? When they go in to meet this king, understand, they riding these same things. Go ahead.
He is unclean unto you. And the coney, because he chews the cud, but divides not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the hare, because he chews the cud, but divides not the hoof, he is unclean unto you.
Right, so you cannot hunt wabbit. Go ahead.
And the swine, though he divide the hoof, and be cloven-footed, yet he chews not the cud. He is unclean to you.
Right, but the swine has its purpose. If we're husbandmen, we're farmers, we got all of this trash that's going to develop on our land. Guess what? These things eat anything, and nothing can poison it. So if you don't have any pigs, you rent out some. Hey, brother, let me borrow your pigs and let them eat up all this trash I got over here. Pigs come clean out your field. All right, now you come get your pigs back. Here go your money. They have a purpose. Their purpose was never to be on the plate. Go ahead.
Of their flesh shall you not eat, and their carcass shall you not touch. They are unclean to you.
Now, this is where Yahweh sets the difference. Their carcass you shall not touch. Understand, they are beasts that Yahweh has given you to use. This is with all unclean animals. They have a purpose. They are not unclean unto you until you touch the carcass. Read the definition of carcass.
From H5038, nebula. From H5034, a flabby thing, that is, a carcass or carrion, human or bestial, often collective, figuratively an idol, dead body, dead carcass,
Dead. Go ahead.
dead of itself, which died, beast, that which dieth of itself.
So then when we deal with a carcass, we are then dealing with a dead body. You shall not touch its dead body. Not you can't touch its live body. The pig is not unclean to you live. How are we going to have a farmer How are we going to be farmers? Need these beasts to clean off the field, but then we can't touch it. I need you to go that way. Pow! Go that way. Hey, Dante, you go over there. I need my dog. Hey, run out there. Make sure ain't none of these animals trying to eat my sheep. Go, boy. My dog run, I give him a treat. I send him on out there. He not unclean to me. Until he is dead. And now, because first of all, you got to kill him before you eat him. See, Yahweh is giving you some speed bumps before you do something stupid. So you have not actually gotten into something unclean when you eat him. Yahweh said you was into abomination when you was preparing him. When you start marinating,
You know what I'm saying? This is gonna be smothered and covered.
you was already in sin. Didn't matter whether you ate them or not. You was already in sin at that point because you was preparing the pig. Yahweh took care of that business. Carcass. All right. Keep going. We got a note here. It says in 2013, Shanghai residents were told not to worry about 14,000 pig carcasses floating in the river, which is the source of their drinking water. And now, 6 years later, China is confronted with a swine fever epidemic. Leviticus 11, let's go to verse 10.
Oh, we didn't do 9 yet.
All right, go ahead.
These shall you eat of all that are in the waters, whatsoever has fins and scales in the waters, in the seas and in the rivers, them shall you eat.
It's some things in that water that we still have not seen. There are new things that they discover in the water. There are things that are so deep in that water that it does not even come anywhere near light. And if it come up, it's going to be, I understand some of these beasts that Yahweh has around his throne and how strange they are. Some of that stuff come up from the depth of that water. It'll make you swim out of that water and never go back in it.
He's like, what was it? I don't know, man. I don't know if it was a man, it was a beast. I don't know what it was, but I know I'm not going back in there. That's what I know.
There's some strange beasts in there. But they perform a service. If you remove something small as just the bee, you realize what kind of damage you do to the whole ecosystem because you took this one little bitty thing, ain't as big as my nail. Yet it will seriously affect the entire circle of life because you took this one thing out. Go ahead.
You know, brother, even when you talk about what's in that water, a lot of inventions that we even get, we don't even know where it's come from, like these neon lights and stuff. That's from them swimming the depths of the water and seeing these different anemones and things that light up, and it's like, oh, we got to go back and create that.
Yeah, they done seen so many things. A lot of that come from the stingray. They see the stingray and the stuff that it does. Man, you got some of their choppers. You look at, that's why they call their weaponry after certain animals, because they mimicked it off of an animal and they watch, how did this animal do this? What? This crazy thing about the jellyfish, how it regenerate itself and do all kind. They are mimicking all kinds of things. They got it from Yahweh's creation. Go ahead.
Verse 10, and in all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
Right. They are an abomination unto you. You cannot eat these things. They have a purpose. Go ahead.
They shall be even an abomination unto you. You shall not eat of their flesh, but you shall have their carcasses in abomination.
Check this out. Their carcasses is an abomination. Not the animal live is an abomination. The animal dead is an abomination. Why? Because that's what you got to do before you eat it. You got to kill it. See, now there's a reason why he even said that, because, you know, you got some people that, you know, they eat raw fish and stuff like that. He always said, well, you even before you got ready to hold it, once it was dead, you was in abomination. Now, I ain't never seen nobody eat like a live fish. I ain't never seen a fish like flapping in their mouth. You know what I'm saying? Now you get away from those people, okay? Go ahead.
Whatsoever has no fins nor scales in the waters, that shall be an abomination unto you.
Uh-huh.
And these are they which you shall have in abomination among the fowls. They shall not be eaten. They are an abomination. The eagle.
Wait a minute. He says the eagle is an abomination. But ain't it some eagle face on one of them things that he got by his throne? Right. We have to make sure that we don't limit Yahweh. It's an abomination for you to eat. Know the difference. Go ahead.
And the ostrich, and the osprey, and the vulture, and the kite after his kind. Every raven after his kind.
Right. But then he used a raven to come and bring some food to one of the prophets. Right. Brother didn't eat the raven. Go ahead.
And the fowl.
Because see, look, there's a reason why we're doing this. What if Yahweh uses an unclean animal to save your life? Will you turn around and die because you said,
No, he gonna bring it old unclean animal. He could have brought a lamb to come and save me.
how the hell the lamb gonna save you? He brought this beast to come and save you. What happened? He let the ass talk and testify about what was going on. What if he turned around and bring an animal, let that animal speak and give you direction, but you decide you ain't gonna deal with it because it was an unclean animal? It was unclean to eat. That's Yahweh's creation. And the whole earth and everything in it belongs to him. He used whatever the hell he want to use. We don't get to dictate to him. He is our Elohim. He dictates to us. Go ahead.
Verse 16. And the owl, and the nighthawk, and the cuckoo, and the hawk after his kind, and the little owl, and the cormorant, and the great owl, and the swan, and the pelican, and the jeer eagle, and the stork, the heron after her kind, and the lapwing, and the bat. All fowls that creep, going upon all four, shall be an abomination unto you. Yet these may you eat of every flying creeping thing that goes upon all four, which have legs above their feet, to leap withal upon the earth.
Which y'all pay attention. Which have legs upon their feet. I know how y'all saying I ain't eating no bug. You just ain't got hungry enough yet. Go ahead.
Even these of them you may eat. The locust after his kind.
Now, I don't know, have y'all ever seen a locust? It's like glorified cockroach. It said Yohanan the Baptist said his meat was locust and wild honey. Now, how many of y'all gonna go get y'all baptism by a dude that look like he eating roaches and dipping them in sauce?
That's delicious.
Ew! He ate roaches! This supposed to be Yahweh's servant? I didn't get no baptism today. How many of y'all been walked away from y'all baptism because y'all see a brother eating roaches and dipping them in honey? Or what you thought looked like a roach? Right. Go ahead.
And the bald locust after his kind, and the beetle after his kind, and the grasshopper after his kind. But all other flying creeping things which have 4 feet shall be an abomination unto you. And for these you shall be unclean. Whosoever touches the carcass of them.
You see how consistent Yahweh is? He keeps going. The carcass is unclean. But what happened if one of them walking? Because we got a lot of tree huggers in around, and they said,
Oh, you can't kill the animal.
they see a roach, they don't want to kill it. They just grab the roach, take it outside. And people say, "Oh, you're unclean." That wasn't dead. That wasn't dead. Carcass. See, Yahweh has a system. His system works. You just got to understand his system. Go ahead.
Whosoever touches the carcass of them shall be unclean until the even.
Uh-huh.
And whosoever bears aught of the carcass of them shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the even.
Understand, you got people that have to go and remove dead animals. This separates them from holy things for a time. Go ahead.
The carcasses of every beast which divides the hoof and is not cloven-footed, nor cheweth the cud, are unclean unto you. Everyone that touches them shall be unclean.
Right. He goes, oh, and let me tell you something. Yahweh is so consistent. He's going to go over and over, and then he just go ahead and go in and make it plain, just in case you don't understand what carcass means. Go ahead.
And whatsoever goes upon his paws among all manner of beasts that go on all four, those are unclean unto you. Whoso touches their carcass shall be unclean until the even. And he that beareth the carcass of them shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the even. They are unclean unto you. These also shall be unclean unto you among the creeping things that creep upon the earth, the weasel, and the mouse, and the tortoise after his kind, and the ferret, and the chameleon, and the lizard, and the snail, and the mole. These are unclean to you among all that creep. Whosoever does touch them, when they be dead, shall be unclean until the even.
So he didn't even say carcass no more. He just went, look, when they dead, he done said carcass about 10 times. Just in case you didn't understand what a carcass is, look, when they dead, they are unclean unto you. Not when they living. Use the beast for the purpose in which they were created. Yahweh gave that to you. You cannot be a shepherd without having a sheepdog. You know how much land that dog is going to be able to cover that you're not going to be able to cover? You know how much that dog going to hear that you're not going to be able to hear? When them animals is in all down on foot, shh, your dog will, oh. Hey, boss. You trying to get your sheep over here, boss? Hold on, boss. Hey. They're in them woods over there. That help him protect the sheep. You got to use the beasts for what they were created for. Yahweh has beasts, and they follow their direction that Yahweh has given them. Go ahead.
And upon whatsoever any of them, when they are dead, does fall, it shall be unclean, whether it be any vessel of wood, or raiment, or skin, or sack. Whatsoever vessel it be, wherein any work is done, it must be put into water, and it shall be unclean until the even, so it shall be cleansed.
So now it's like it's causing other things to be unclean, but it's only when that thing is dead. So understand, we have to be able to use, because we've gotten so accustomed to all this automatic stuff that we have here, that when that is gone, if we still have the mentality that everything is going to make us unclean, what you gonna do when you don't have automatic horses out there? See, right now we got horses that we just, we don't have the horse that we got to, come on, get up there. So now what you gonna do when you gotta use that kind of horse? Now you think you unclean that way you went? Because y'all about to take all that little stuff that we got. Because that's how, that stuff is causing us not to be able to focus on him. Don't think you taking your Cadillac Escalade to the wilderness. I know them rims is nice. I know you spent a lot on them, and you shine them up every 2 days. I know that. But don't think we're going to be in the middle of the woods, and you're going to be cleaning your rims. Please don't think it. Did you finish that, bro?
Yeah, verse 32.
Let's go to Psalm chapter 50.
Psalm chapter 50 and verse 1. The mighty Elohim, even Yahweh, has spoken and called the earth from the rising of the sun unto the going down thereof. Out of Zion, the perfection of beauty, Elohim has shined. Our Elohim shall come and shall not keep silence. A fire shall devour before him, and it shall be very tempestuous round about him. He shall call to the heavens from above and to the earth, that he may judge his people. Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice.
Right. And what is your sacrifice? Where is your covenant? Go ahead.
And the heavens shall declare his righteousness, for Elohim is judge himself. Hear, O my people, and I will speak, O Israel, and I will testify against you. I am Elohim, even your Elohim. I will not reprove you for your sacrifices or your burnt offerings to have been continually before me.
Right. Especially when you have situations where Israel is scattered. He knocks down the temple, spreads out the priesthood. He said, all right, I ain't going to judge you for that. You were not able to do it. But I tell you what, there are things that you were able to do. Did you do those? Go ahead.
I will take no bullock out of your house, nor he-goats out of your folds. For every beast of the forest is mine.
Every beast is mine. I created it. It belongs to me. I do what I want with it. Go ahead.
And the cattle upon 8,000 hills. I know all the fowls of the mountains, and the wild beasts of the field are mine. If I were hungry, I would not tell you.
Because there ain't nothing you can do about it. These offerings that you offer up, Yahweh wasn't eating them. Go ahead.
For the world is mine, and the fullness thereof. Will I eat the flesh of bulls, or drink the blood of goats?
Right. So then understand that those offerings were not to feed Yahweh our Elohim. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 1.
Ezekiel chapter 1 and verse 1. Now it came to pass in the 13th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I was among the captives by the river of Chebar, that the heavens were opened, and I saw visions of Elohim. In the 5th day of the month, which was the 5th year of King Jehoiachin's captivity, the word of Yahweh came expressly unto Ezekiel the priest, the son of Buzi, in the land of the Chaldeans by the river Chebar. And the hand of Yah was there upon him. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. Also out of the midst thereof came a likeness of 4 living creatures, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man, and every one had 4 faces, and everyone had 4 wings.
Now, normally when we say that somebody ain't right, we say,
Oh, they two-faced it. See, they got 2 faces.
Yahweh got stuff that got 4 faces and they all right. Go ahead.
And their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot.
Now think about this stuff that you start seeing on the movies. So you see the stuff on the movies and you say, wow, this is wicked stuff. No, all they did was take your stuff and then do what they want to do with it. Then give it a negative connotation. So now, if Yahweh then shows you his stuff, will you think his stuff evil because of what you seen from Hollywood? You might get yourself into some trouble. Hollywood cannot be your direction. They lie about everything. It is all for dramatization. Even when something is supposed to be from a true story, they say based on a true story. You know what that means? Some of it right, some of it right, but this part right here, you know, we just made this part up because we thought it'd go good in the story. Understand? You got to understand this, but that means part of that is true. Not all of it. Go ahead.
And they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. And they had the hands of a man under their wings on their 4 sides.
They had hands of a man under the wings on their 4 sides. Go ahead.
And they 4 had their faces and their wings. Verse 9. Their wings were joined one to another. They turned not when they went everyone straight forward.
So let me paint this picture for you. It's 4 faces. If Kish say something to me, I turn around, say what? But with the other face, If Kish say something, my other face just said, what? Right. Now this, to everybody else, hey man, this is some mystical creature crap. No, man, this is heavenly. Go ahead.
As for the likeness of their faces, they four had the face of a man and the face of a lion on the right side. And they four had the face of an ox on the left side. They four also had the face of an eagle.
An eagle, what they told us was unclean, right? Okay, so got all these different faces on the same body. Now, if we saw something like that in a dream, would you then say and wake up and say, it was a nightmare? Some evil, abominable beast came to me in my sleep. Because you ain't read the right thing. Now you call a messenger of Yahweh an abominable beast. And what if it gave you direction? Right. Go ahead.
Thus were their faces, and their wings were stretched upward. 2 wings of every one were joined one to another, and 2 covered their bodies. And they went every one straight forward. Whether the spirit was to go, they went, and they turned not when they went.
Right. You just got the it was one of those things I think Eliah was talking about, how they make the forklifts so that they don't turn anymore. How you know they just are able to change direction without the whole thing turning around. And you talking about something that's flying this way, and instead of turning this way, it's already got another face to just go that way. They developed their military weapons after the stuff that's right in here. So they start figuring out, how can we get something that can hover like that? This is where they get it from. They've been reading your book. And here it is. You don't even know they got it from your book. But we'll go and get them accolades on the stuff they, look at this is nice. And not see, you know they got that from your book, right? Go ahead.
As for the likeness of the living creatures, their appearance was like burning coals of fire, and like the appearance of lamps. It went up and down among the living creatures, and the fire was bright, and out of the fire went forth lightning. And the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning. Now as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures, with his 4 faces.
Verse 14, and the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning. And that's what they called the little boy in the Incredibles. It was Flash or Dash or whatever his name was. Well, Dash, he just go, and he already back. Okay, he go Dash in your book right here. He go Dash. Go ahead.
The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of a beryl. And they 4 had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. When they went upon their 4 sides, and they turned not when they went. As for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them 4. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. Whithersoever the spirit was to go, they went. Thither was their spirit to go, and the wheels were lifted up over against them, for the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. When those went, these went, and when those stood, these stood. And when those were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up over against them, for the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. And the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creatures was as the color of the terrible crystal, stretched forth over their heads above. And under the firmament were their wings straight, the one toward the other. Every one had 2, which covered on this side, and every one had 2, which covered on that side, their bodies. And when they went, I heard the noise of their wings, like the noise of great waters, as the voice of the Almighty, the voice of speech, as the noise of an host. When they stood, they let down their wings. And And there was a voice from the firmament that was over their heads, when they stood and had let down their wings.
Right. And when you get with these things and dealing with these beasts, is very interesting that what we received on Sunday morning was all of the angels had wings. Yet when we read in this book, it's completely opposite. It's the beasts that have wings. The angels resemble regular men. Of course, what we were given was mostly all women angels with wings. We read this book, it's the beast that's got wings. But yet we think the beasts are evil. Go ahead.
You know, brother, it's like you were saying earlier about these inventions. You know, like it was just talking about the wheel inside of the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you ever seen the motorcycle that they built like that.
Yes. I seen a picture and it freaked me out just looking at it. And how they are, building some of this stuff that has this wheel inside of a wheel. It's utterly amazing. But you realize that they have been studying this for quite some time for them to figure out how can we make a wheel inside of a wheel. Mm-hmm. And it causes it to be able to do something like they have those forklifts that don't have to turn, where that thing can go this way and then the wheel inside of the wheel turns and then the thing just goes that way instead of having to turn its whole body around. They've been studying your book. Go ahead.
Verse 26. And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone, and upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man above upon it. And I saw as the color of amber, as the appearance of fire round about within it, from the appearance of his loins even upward, and from the appearance of his loins even downward. As I saw as it were the appearance of fire, and it had brightness round about. As the appearance of the bow that is in the cloud in the day of rain, so was the appearance of the brightness round about. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of Yah. And when I saw it, I fell upon my face, and I heard a voice of one that spake.
So when we deal with these things and understand that this is connected, close to Yahweh, we then have to consider these four faces and understand that there were these four gospels. You have Matthew, the lion. You have Mark, the calf or ox. You have Luke, the son of man. Behold, a branch. And John, the eagle or exalted one. These things have their purpose within Yahweh's setup. So a lot of times not understanding or connecting those things, we end up making something out to be something less than what it is, because it does not fit within man's plan of what they have told us. Let's go to Numbers chapter 21. And see, what happens is sometimes we go over bits and pieces of these things, but sometimes it becomes necessary to go into several things in the same sitting so you can fully get that picture. Because there's certain things that will confuse you as to why would Yahweh even do that? And when you get to that place where you don't understand, you cannot then make it evil because you don't understand it. Wait on your understanding. Numbers chapter 21, and let's read verses 5 through 9.
And the people spake against Elohim and against Moshe.
And see, here's that thing. This is what I was saying about, hey, we can always reason together in scripture. That's totally different from speaking against. When people believe that they ought to have the same authority as somebody working, yet they ain't doing no work. They have an issue with Moshe, but really who they have an issue with is Yahweh. So they spake against Moshe, and Yahweh end up dealing with them. Go ahead.
Wherefore have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no bread, neither is there any water, and our soul loathes this light bread.
That's what they call the manna.
We don't want none of this angel food. This light bread. What's this? Is that Wonder Bread? Y'all got this from Colonial Bakery? We don't want no more of this. We loathe this stuff. We hate this. Let us go back to being a slave. We eat better.
Right. Go ahead.
And Yahweh sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and much people of Israel died.
So, I mean, you have to first of all see how Yahweh does something. He said, you know, why would he send, first of all, a serpent to bite him? Because, say, you know what? Your mouth is very sharp in the stuff that you let come out of it. I tell you what, since you like to say foul stuff, I'm going to send stuff that bites you so you can figure out the sting of your mouth. He could have done anything to punish us. The beginning of this is why you have to sometimes sit back and meditate. What was the original problem? They kept running off at the mouth against Moshe. Then he sends a serpent to bite them. Why? Because of your mouth. Go ahead.
You know, even when you think about it, the serpent, what the natives used to say, you speak with forked tongue.
Uh-huh.
So that's what they were doing. Yeah, we love Yahweh.
And then got something to say about his servant and everything, and talking about Yahweh at the same time. You know?
Surely, you know, this don't make no sense. Why would you even do this? What kind of God is that? You call yourself a God?
Like, send a snake to bite that fool right there. Go ahead.
Therefore the people came to Moshe and said, we have sinned, for we have spoken against Yah and against you.
Right. But you know what? They realize that when they get bit by the snake. See, a lot of times people don't just come to that realization, you know, that, hey, I've spoken against you, and I've spoken against Elohim. They realize that when they got two little piercing holes in their leg.
That's when they realize, you know what, I done spoke against Elohim and against his servant.
Go ahead.
Pray unto Yah that he take away the serpents from us.
Right. The same one who I've been talking about. You know, hey man, excuse me, I know I've been dogging you out, but can you have mercy on me, please? You know that stuff I wouldn't have for you. You remember that? Please pray to Yahweh for me. Right. Meanwhile, speaking with forked tongue and biting the very individual that they asking to pray for. Go ahead.
And Moshe prayed for the people.
Now that, my friend, is where you see some serious mercy from within Israel. He know they still talking about him. He still prayed for him. Go ahead.
And Yahweh said unto Moshe, make you a fiery serpent and set it up on a pole.
Now, you have to ask yourself, why would Yahweh, first of all, he going to send snake? Now, if we think about it, we can understand why he sent the snake. They were running off at the mouth. He gave them something that attacks with its mouth. That's the only way a snake can attack you. A snake cannot attack you any other way unless you get one of them big ones and they just squeeze you to death. So the snake's primary weapon is its mouth. They kept running off at the mouth. He sends a snake to bite them. Yahweh is poetic. I keep telling people, pay attention. He is poetic with his punishment. He could have let anything happen to him. But he sends a snake because they keep running off at the mouth. Then he says, make a snake. Now, wait a minute. Now, we done read in here about serpents, man. What you gonna make you gonna make a snake? Well, why we gonna make a snake? Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass that everyone that is bitten, when he looks upon it, shall live.
Wait a minute. So now the snake don't heal us? So we run off at the mouth. He give us something that attacks with its mouth. And now we would have to look in the eyes of the snake to get healed. Yeah, you need to recognize yourself when you look at it. Boy, Yahweh poetic. I want you to see yourself. Did you see it? Did you see it? Did you see it? All right, I'm going to hear you next. Go ahead.
And you know, even in this situation, he could have just took the snakes away. He said, nah, everyone that gets bitten.
There you go.
You still running off at the mouth.
Exactly. And then you ran off at the mouth, and now I need you to look eye to eye to this snake. I need you to see yourself. He could have just said, make you a mirror. But you know, we see what we want to see when we look in the mirror. See, we can narrate that totally different. Some people look in the mirror and they say, oh, that is a fine individual there. They don't see exactly what's in that mirror. They see what they want to see in that mirror. Did you finish that? All right.
And Moshe made a serpent of brass and put it up on a pole. And it came to pass that if a serpent had bitten any man, when he beheld the serpent of brass, he lived.
So he makes this serpent. This is one of the strangest things when you just look at it on the surface, because what we know to be, hey, we know serpent caused some problems in the beginning of the garden. So why in the world he gonna tell us to make a snake? Well, we gonna make you asked us to make a snake and then look in his eyes for healing, which is the very thing that you punished us with, the same snake. Now let's go to Isaiah chapter 6. See, sometimes you got to meditate on your punishment, and you might be able to figure out what the deed was that you're getting punished for. Isaiah chapter 6, and we're going to read verses 1 through 7.
In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw also the Adonai sitting upon a throne, high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple. Above it stood the seraphims. Each one had 6 wings. With 2 he covered his face, and with 2 he covered his feet, and with 2 he did fly.
Right. Once again, we have some more mystical creatures, which is what we would call them, mystical creatures, because there ain't nothing that we can find that's going to match this stuff here that we run across. Go ahead.
And one cried unto another and said, Holy, holy, holy is Yahweh of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. And the posts of the door moved at the voice of him that cried, and the house was filled with smoke. Then said I, Woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips, for mine eyes have seen the King, Yahweh of hosts. Then flew one of the seraphims unto me, having a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with the tongs from off the altar.
So then the seraphim has then came to this individual. Keep going.
And he laid it upon my mouth and said, Lo, this has touched your lips, and your iniquity is taken away, and your sin is purged.
So then this seraphim has done this thing in healing the man from his lawlessness. All right, this is in verse 2, it says the seraphim, each one had 6 wings. With 2 he covered his face, with 2 he covered his feet, and with 2 he did fly. Now, read the definition of seraphim.
From H314, Seraph. From H8313, burning, that is, figuratively, poisonous serpent.
Hold up. So Yahweh got poisonous serpents in heaven? See, we got this thing that we like, oh no, this thing is completely not something that we're going to deal with. The snake is the devil. Wait a minute. Yahweh got snakes in heaven. He then sends this serpent type animal to go and heal the man. So then when you back up, why would he make a serpent and put it on the pole? Wait a minute. The serpent was used to do some things. Not that the serpent itself was the enemy. The serpent got used. See, we think that it is the serpent. Let me tell you something. In a demonic spirit chooses to use somebody. Let me tell you something. When you paying attention, you will watch how a spirit will move from one individual to the next. Where we've seen where one individual was in this church and they were doing something, that person either leaves or get ran out, and somebody else come and sit down in the chair and they're doing the exact same thing that the person who got ran out of here, then you know what? That's where that spirit is. That go that spirit right there. I don't care what body that is. I don't care what that person look like. That spirit said, well, I don't, that person gone. I can't do evil in here because they not here per se. Now, who I'm going to get next? There they go. I found my huckleberry. And boom, they jump on that individual. And before you know it, they talking the same as the other person. They moving the same as the other person. Do you have the spiritual wherewithal to pay attention? You know, you act just like somebody that got ran out of here a couple months ago. Do you have the spiritual wherewithal to see that? Or are you still looking at physical people? Because that spirit don't have any physical attributes that you can label it by. It has spiritual attributes, and you got to watch how it moves. And if it walk like a duck, and it quack like a duck, damn it, that's a duck. I don't care what it look like. That's what it is. Go ahead, bro.
You know, you consider how strong these spirits are when it was it took over like 400. Remember that story where the spirit was sent to 400?
Yeah, it said we're legion because we're many. You talking about that, or it took over those swine?
No, there was a part where there was 400 men that were actually the spirit came and said, "I will go and deceive."
Oh, I'll be a lion spirit,
Yeah.
and go onto them, and that lion spirit led them all.
It was one. It was like
Yeah.
400. It's to show how strong.
How powerful the spirit is. Yeah, brother. A spirit, and if you're talking about one lion spirit there, consider when there was the situation when it says I think it was Yahshua said, "What is your name?" And it said, "We are legion, for we are many." And you think about, man, you got that many spirits in you? So them spirits arguing inside one person. My elder used to say that's what happened when you tell somebody said, well, you said such and such. No, I didn't. That wasn't them talking. That was one of them other spirits talking.
Give me the mic. I want to talk. Let me talk. Give me the microphone. I want to say something.
Then afterwards, they're like, I ain't say that. No, you didn't. That entity in you did. That's who said it. See, when you talk about Yehudas Iscariot, he did all of those things to deceive, to betray Yahshua. Afterwards, he wanted to give back the same money. All the stuff, he was money hungry. He was ready to get the money back. What happened? The demon left. Even when it says, one of you gonna betray me.
Who is it? Who gonna betray you? Is it me?
He didn't know it was him. But I tell you what, he knew it was him when the deception was done. Because then the demon left. But let us hear the conclusion of this matter. Let's go to Revelation chapter 5.
Verse 1. And I saw in the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within and on the backside, sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a strong angel proclaiming with a loud voice, Who is worthy to open the book, and to loose the seals thereof? And no man in heaven, nor in earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon. And I wept much, because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. And one of the elders says unto me, Weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Yehudah, the root of David, has prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof.
And one of the elders said unto me, Weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Yehudah. He has likened Yahshua unto a lion. A lion is an unclean animal. It is not a clean animal that we can eat. Yet Yahshua is likened unto it. But remember, it's only unclean until when it's dead. Go ahead.
And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb as it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of Elohim sent forth into all the earth.
Uh-huh.
And he came and took the book out of the right hand of him that sat upon the throne. And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of saints. And they sung a new song, saying, You are worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof.
Right. You are worthy. How is he worthy? You are worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof. Go ahead.
You know, even with what you're talking about, him being referenced as the lion now,
Mm-hmm.
he was first referenced as a lamb, which is clean to be sacrificed.
Yes. But see, the lion ain't finna be sacrificed. The lion killing everything. See? So people don't understand that turn. The lamb was able to be sacrificed. Oh, the lion ain't walking up for nobody's sacrifice. The lion like, oh no, I'm killing you. No, you don't understand. I'm like king of the beast. You understand what I'm talking about? The beast listen to me. I roar and stuff just fall down and say, go ahead and eat me, brother. Go ahead and eat me. Understand that. He coming to take care of business this time. Go ahead.
For you was slain, and has redeemed us to Elohim by your blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation.
In other words, your works have made you worthy to open this book. The things that you have done have made it. See, this is that thing where people believe they have rights and things, but have no works. Where's your covenant that you have made with me by sacrifice? Where are the things that you have done? Yet, people will proclaim that they have something. He's worthy by what he has offered up. Go ahead.
And has made us unto our Elohim kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. And I beheld, and I heard the voice of many angels round about the throne, and the beast, and the elders. And the number of them was 10,000 times 10,000, and thousands of thousands, saying with a loud voice, Worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power and riches, and wisdom, and strength, and honor, and glory, and blessing.
Right. He is worthy because of the things that he suffered. So when we get down to all of the things that Yahweh has reserved for Israel, it is because of the things that we have had to suffer. You are worthy to receive those things. If somebody gave you something here in this country, most of us will be walking around like they gave us something. They ain't gave you nothing. You are worthy to receive the things that Yahweh got coming to you. Go ahead.
And every creature which is in heaven and on the earth and under the earth, and such as are in the sea, and all that are in them, heard I saying, Blessing and honor and glory and power be unto him that sits upon the throne, and unto the Lamb forever and ever. And the 4 beasts said, Amen. And the 24 elders fell down and worshiped him that lives forever and ever.
All right. So that is all that we're going to do. Let us, keep those things in our hearts and minds, because as we get down to the redemption of the children of Israel, some things may start taking place that we've never seen before. And we have to make sure that we don't have boundaries in our head that causes us not to receive the glory of Yahweh, because you don't know how he's going to do that. And if he does something outside of what we are accustomed to, will we decline to accept his blessing because it doesn't fit what we are accustomed to? If we do, we're going to pay a horrible cost for it. That's all that we're going to do for today. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.